What is deed fraud and how does it affect real estate? This is Dave at TitleSearch.com. Deed fraud is when a fraudulent deed to a property is filed or recorded and the legitimate owner is somehow removed from ownership status on that property. Now, how do you think that could happen? Well, when you have a deed to a piece of real estate, there's really no gatekeeper to having that deed filed as official. So if, let's say, John Smith owns a property and I just make up a deed, I can go to Office Depot and get a blank deed and I put John Smith and I transfer it to myself and I forge John Smith's name on the bottom. I bring that deed down to the county recorder's office. They're not going to know that that deed is fraudulent. They don't know who John Smith is. They don't know what his signature looks like. They see a piece of paper that looks legitimate. It fits the format and criteria of a document that should be recorded. They put it in their system. Now, once that document is there, a title search performed afterwards will show that John Smith sold that property to whoever is on the deed. Well, how that has been used in the past for criminal intent is where fraudsters will come into an area, find properties that fit two criteria. They're vacant owned, absentee owned, and or the person is only a part-time resident. They may live out of state and just visit there once in a while. The other criteria is that the property has no mortgage on it. It's owned for cash. And it's easy to find properties that fit that description by just poring over land records, spending hours and days looking through land records to find properties that fit both of those criteria. Then what do? Well, what they do is they file a deed that transfers a property from the legitimate owner to themselves. It's fraudulent. They give it to the recorder of deeds. They wait a few days or a week, and then they go to a bank, and they ask the bank for a mortgage on that property as them being the owner. Well, the bank is going to, in most cases, look at this borrower, who most likely is not necessarily a legitimate person or even a substantial person. In some cases, these people come from outside the country to do this, or they have bad credit. And the bank's going to say, wait a minute, you don't really qualify for a mortgage. We're not going to give you one. Well, the fraudster will simply say, look, I don't want a mortgage for the whole amount of the property. This property is worth $450,000. I only want $150,000 cash out mortgage. So the bank figures they have nothing to lose. If the people don't pay, they'll take the property back. They give them a mortgage. They run a title search. It's in their name, no other encumbrances. They give them a check. And the fraudsters will go around and do this to 15 or 20 different properties in the course of a month and a half, and then skip town with a few $1,000,000. In many cases, they go back to a country where they are visiting from or another part of the U.S. where they're from with fake IDs with, several $100,000 or millions of dollars. Now, once it's discovered, the property owners who legitimately own these real estate parcels normally won't lose their property. Normally, a forged deed does not cause you to lose a home. But it may cost thousands of dollars in legal fees to undo the damage and to eliminate the hassles that happened really from what was essentially identity theft. So it might be worthwhile to check your property records once in a while. Make sure no deed has been filed on your land that transfers the property away, especially if you're an absentee owner and you don't visit your property very frequently. If you have more questions about running a title search on real estate, you can reach us at our website at TitleSearch.com.